Despite the 50 mocking glances at her limp, she amazed everyone by outrunning the entire squad. The crowd buzzed with anticipation as Lucy stood on the starting line, heart pounding. She could feel the weight of every judgment, the disbelief in every whisper that followed her. They thought she wouldn't make it. But today, she had a chance to prove them wrong. She was more than a girl with a limp, she was a fighter. And as the whistle blew, exhilaration surged through her veins. Years of training flooded her mind. Every morning when the sun barely peeked over the horizon, she pushed herself, one foot in front of the other, even when the pain echoed in her bones. Remember, Lucy, it's not about how you start. It's about how you finish, her mother always said, her voice a constant reminder of strength. Each word wrapped around her like a protective shield against the world's harsh judgments. But that shield cracked when Coach Graham suggested she might be better off cheering from the sidelines. You know, maybe it's time to accept your limits, he had said, looking at her with pity. Those words hit harder than any physical blow. In that moment, Lucy couldn't decide which felt worse, the limp that had defined her childhood or the notion that her dreams were too lofty for her reach. As Lucy took off, each stride was filled with the urgency of defiance. With every pounding step, she wasn't just racing against her classmates, she was racing against the doubts, the rolling eyes and mocking laughs that haunted her. She caught glimpses of familiar faces in the stands, students who had teased her for years. But then, there was her mother, her unwavering supporter, cheering louder than anyone. That banter from her childhood faded into the background, and all that remained was her relentless drive. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With each lap, her breath quickened, fueled by the adrenaline of challenge. Every doubt crumbled another piece of her determination. She approached the final stretch, heart racing, legs pumping. Could she do it? In that moment, something clicked. It was as if she was soaring, untethered. As she hurtled towards the finish line, the world around her faded. All the struggles, all the moments of feeling less than, turned into fire within her. The cheers erupted, vibrant and electrifying, drowning out the whispers of unworthiness. She crossed the line, breathless and alive, a sense of victory coursing through her. Silence followed. Lucy stood there, panting, processing what she had just accomplished. Had she truly outrun them all? But even more pressing was the question racing through her mind: would this victory be the spark for change? As the crowd erupted into cheers, she knew this was just the beginning. The ripple of her triumph hung in the air, thick with potential. Would they see her differently now? Cheers cascaded around Lucy like waves crashing onto a shore, but amidst the noise, a cold knot of uncertainty twisted within her. She had done it. She had outrun everyone. Yet, as the adrenaline faded, doubts slithered back into her mind. What if it was just a fluke? What if they all went back to seeing her as the girl with a limp instead of a runner? Her best friend, Sarah, rallied over, her eyes wide with excitement. Lucy! You were amazing! Did you see that? Everyone is talking about you. Lucy quickly plastered on a grin, nodding, but inside, her heart raced with mixed emotions. Thanks, Sarah, she replied, forcing the enthusiasm into her voice. The happiness didn't quite reach her core yet. Come on! Let us go celebrate. Sarah pulled her toward the others, but they were interrupted by whispers. A few students still stood along the edge, their faces a mix of surprise and disbelief. They had to be wondering how the girl they laughed at had suddenly become a star. Then there was Coach Graham, arms crossed, frowning. His gaze pierced through the celebratory atmosphere, bringing a semblance of reality crashing back down on her. Lucy, he called, his voice low and serious. Can we talk? Lucy's stomach dropped. Was this about her performance, or worse, about that comment he had made before? She nodded and stepped to the side, away from the cheerful jubilation of her classmates. The crowd felt distant now, the buzz muffled. "Congratulations on the race," he said, but there was no warmth behind the compliment. "I still think you need to consider your limitations. It doesn't change the fact that this was a one-time victory." A surge of frustration boiled inside her. "I overcame so much to get here. You can't just reduce it to one race," Lucy countered, her voice shaky but firm. "I'm just being realistic, Lucy," he replied, looking her in the eyes. "You're not built like them. You can't expect to keep up forever." Those words stung, morphing her earlier triumph into bitter shadows. Reality was creeping back in. "You're wrong. I can do this. I'll keep proving it." "Lucy," he trailed off, shaking his head. "Just remember to be careful." Left standing in the aftermath of a victory that felt tainted, she bit her lip, holding back tears. She had fought so hard and finally tasted victory, yet here she was, doubted all over again. Just as she turned to walk away, a voice called out, "Hey, Lucy!" It was Tom, one of the guys who'd always been quick to mock. His face bore a complexity of confusion and admiration. That was incredible. Seriously. His sincerity caught her off guard. "Thanks," she said hesitantly, unsure if this was just another jab disguised as a compliment. "No, really. I mean it. You should be proud," he continued, glancing back at the crowd that was still buzzing. "They're all talking about you. You should join us." For a moment, she stood frozen, processing his unexpected kindness. Could this be the shift she had been yearning for? Could they all see her differently now? Taking a deep breath, she joined Sarah and the others, allowing herself to soak in the laughter, the newfound admiration, even if it felt awkward. She deserved this moment. But as they celebrated, Lucy felt a thread of doubt still tugging at her heart. Had she truly changed their perceptions, or would it all fade away tomorrow? As the evening wore on, she caught sight of Coach Graham again, shaking his head as if he still couldn't believe what she had accomplished. What would it take to prove to him and to herself that this was just the beginning? What if today wasn't just a victory but an invitation to an entirely new fight? A fight for recognition, acceptance, a fight to truly belong. And that fire ignited within her once more. The question loomed, could she keep it alive? Could she turn this victory into something more, something monumental? The challenge ahead felt daunting, but she had already taken the first step. Now, where would it lead her? The next few days felt like a whirlwind to Lucy. After the race, the atmosphere at school shifted slowly but surely. Tom's unexpected encouragement seemed to ripple through the hallways. Whispers that once mocked her now marveled at her achievement. In gym class, Lucy hesitated at first, nearly retreating to her comfort zone at the back of the group. But then she caught sight of her classmates joking and talking about her race. With every laugh and smile, Lucy felt a spark of courage flicker inside her. "Hey, Lucy!" Sarah waved her over during lunch, her face beaming. "Can you believe Mr. Jensen was talking about you in class? He said your race was one for the books." Lucy sat down cautiously, trying to ignore the flutter of excitement in her stomach. "Really? What did he say?" "He mentioned how your determination can inspire all of us." Sarah grinned, her enthusiasm infectious. "You're a legend now." That word legend settled deep within Lucy. It felt enormous and terrifying. She took a bite of her sandwich, the taste lost in the undercurrent of pressure. Could she live up to this new title? After school, she headed to the track, the sun long gone and the sky a canvas of twilight. As she ran, rhythmic breaths filled the silence, grounding her thoughts. She had scored one victory. But was she really ready for more? The echoes of Coach Graham's doubt haunted her. "Hey, Lucy!" The familiar voice broke her concentration. It was Tom again, this time joined by a couple of other students. "We're heading out for a run. Wanna join?" Though it was hard to suppress a smirk, Lucy nodded. "Sure, I'd love to." As they ran, something changed within her. No longer was she the girl with a limp trying to keep up. She felt every stride surging with energy. For the first time, She looked around at her companions, battling against the setting sun and each other instead of ghosts of disbelief. Nice pace, Tom called from ahead, and the group gradually began to pick up speed. Lucy pushed herself, craving that exhilaration coursing through her veins. She soon found herself alongside Tom, matching his rhythm. In that moment, nothing else mattered. She glanced at him sideways, and he caught her eye. You really have something special, you know? Thanks. The words stumbled out, heavy with the burden she hadn't realized she was carrying. I didn't think I'd ever be here. Why not? We all have our struggles. You're just proving that hard work pays off, he said, breathless but earnest. His affirmation made her chest swell with pride. Maybe this was what she had been fighting for, the chance to belong somewhere, to be seen as more than her past. As they finished, breathless and laughing, the night sky sparkled with stars that suddenly felt like fresh opportunities. But when she got home, she noticed a text from Coach Graham. I'd like to talk, Lucy. It's important. A shiver of worry slithered down her spine. Was he about to crush this emerging sense of hope? Could she survive another round of doubt? She paused, staring at the glow of her phone, a storm of emotions swirling within. Could this be just another hurdle, or would it lead to the solid ground she desperately craved? As she lay in bed that night, the weight of the upcoming conversation pressed heavily on her. The challenge was looming like a shadow in her mind, but she knew deep down that each day spent proving her worth was building a foundation she could stand upon. What would happen when she faced him? Would he finally see the athlete she was becoming or cling to his reservations? The answer felt just beyond her grasp, igniting a new flame of determination. Tomorrow would be the day everything changed once more, one way or another. The next morning, Lucy woke up with a flutter of anxiety dancing in her stomach. The sun spilled through her curtains, illuminating the room with a golden hue, but all she felt was a heaviness that settled in her chest. She'd never faced Coach Graham without the shadow of self-doubt looming over her, and today felt different. Today felt pivotal. As she dressed, she caught herself thinking about the countless hours spent running through chilly mornings, warmed by her determination, and late evenings, with stars bright above. Each jog was an act of defiance against the doubts that had tried to pin her down. But today, those doubts were threatening to rise again like a tide pulling her back. The hallways were bustling as Lucy walked to school. A few familiar faces greeted her, and somewhere in the back of her mind, the word, legend, echoed again. She couldn't help but smile softly, even amid the tension knotting her belly. Everyone noticed her, everyone had their eyes on her now. Hey, Lucy! Came Sarah's voice, bright and cheerful. You ready for Coach? It's gonna be great. Her enthusiasm was infectious, yet Lucy's heart raced as she replied with a half-hearted nod. Yeah, sure, great. The meeting time crept closer. Each tick of the clock felt like an eternity. When the bell rang, she gathered her things, heart hammering against her ribcage. As she approached Coach Graham's office, adrenaline sent her thoughts spiraling. What if he told her it was all a fluke? Lucy! His voice was firm, yet laced with anticipation as she pushed the door open. She found him sitting behind his desk, his brow furrowed like he was wrestling with words. Hey, Coach. You wanted to see me? Her voice trembled slightly, but she steadied herself. Have a seat, he gestured, his expression unreadable. She sat, feeling the weight of the chair beneath her, as if it could swallow her whole. The silence stretched, a taut string ready to snap. I've been thinking a lot about you, he finally said, his words deliberate. What you did at the race. It was impressive. But I need to know this: are you prepared to really commit to this? Because I'd like to put you on the varsity team. Lucy's breath hitched. The words didn't initially sink in. Wait, really? Yes. He leaned forward, a flicker of respect lighting his eyes. You showed everyone that you have the heart. But with that comes responsibility. Training is about to get intense. A rush of emotions flooded Lucy. Excitement, doubt, fear, they all swirled like confetti in her mind. I won't let you down, Coach. I promise. He nodded, a slight smile breaking through. Then let's make it happen. But be ready to show me what you've got every day. After the meeting, Lucy felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted. She exited the office with a whirlwind of thoughts. But something new flickered in her heart: hope. Maybe she could handle the pressure. Maybe she really could be the athlete she aspired to be. As she arrived on the track after school, her skin buzzed with electricity. The audience of doubts she used to see loomed at the edge of her mind but began to fade in the thrill of possibility. Today was just the beginning. She was more than just a girl with a limp. She was a team member, a competitor, a force to be reckoned with. But as she stretched, preparing to run, her phone buzzed again. Another message from Tom. "Can't wait for our next run, Lucy. I believe in you, no matter the challenges. Just remember that." His words ignited a surge of warmth within her. But something else nagged at her. Could she handle the expectations building around her? With every moment of triumph came a fear of failure creeping in, whispering doubts that lurked around every corner. As the sun dipped low, casting long shadows over the track, Lucy stood poised at the start line, feeling the eyes of her peers on her. The stakes had risen, and this moment felt like a turning point. She took a deep breath. She was ready to run, but what awaited at the finish line was still a mystery. What if this journey pushed her beyond her limits, forcing her to confront not just the track, but who she truly was? Lucy stood at the start line, her heart pounding in her chest like a drum. The chatter of her teammates faded into the background. She could feel the weight of their gazes, some skeptical, others encouraging, but she chose to focus on her breath. In and out. Just like Coach Graham taught her. With her eyes fixed on the track ahead, she recalled every practice, every strained muscle, each moment of doubt that she had pushed through. The panic that once gripped her tightened just a little, but beneath it lay that small flicker of hope. Maybe today was the day it all came together. "On your marks!" called Coach Graham, sharp and clear. Lucy crouched down, feeling the familiar hardness of the track beneath her hands. The sound of her heartbeat drummed in her ears. "Get set!" Her muscles coiled like springs, ready to explode. "Go!" The gun fired, and Lucy surged forward, cherishing the rush of adrenaline coursing through her veins. She darted past others, feeling the air whip against her face. Every stride felt powerful, filled with purpose. But then she heard them snickers and whispers. "Look at her limp," someone muttered. "She can't outrun anyone." The words were like icy daggers, trying to cut through her resolve. For a fleeting second, doubt began to creep in. But she pushed it away with another powerful stride. Her foot hit the ground firmly, with weight and confidence. Glimpses of her journey passed through her mind. The moments spent running in the early mornings when the world was still asleep, the countless times she fell but always got back up. She was here now, racing against everything that had tried to hold her back. As she entered the first curve of the track, she caught sight of the others. They were ahead, but just barely. This wasn't a race against them, it was a race against herself. How fast could she fly? She focused on her breath, the rhythm soothing her anxious heart. With every step, she silenced the voice of doubt. Each move felt stronger, more solid, her limp fading from her mind as she embraced her raw determination. "Come on, Lucy!" Sarah shouted from the sidelines, her voice a beacon of support. With a rush of energy, Lucy burst forward. She could feel the distance closing. The finish line loomed closer as she rounded another curve, leaving her fears and naysayers behind. She tapped into that place where only dreams reside, and fueled by hope, she responded to her own belief. As she sprinted down the straightaway, the taste of victory tinged her mouth. In her ears, the whispers faded, replaced by the thunderous sound of her own heartbeat and the thud of her feet meeting the asphalt, harmonizing to a rhythm of strength. But just as she reached the last few meters, a sharp pain shot through her leg. It was sudden, undeniable. She stumbled, almost losing her balance. The gasp of the audience cut through her, and the world seemed to momentarily freeze. "No!" she thought, pain merging with the fire in her chest, daring her to stop. With sheer grit, she pushed through. She wasn't going to let this be her story today. The finish line was within reach, and she could see it, almost a glowing beacon ahead. Lucy! You can do it! Tom's voice rang out above everything, pumping her full of resolve. In that moment, everything locked into place. She gave one last explosive push, digging deep within herself for every ounce of strength. And then, she crossed the finish line, breathless, exhilarated, and as her foot touched the last mark, the quiet swept through the crowd before it erupted into cheers. Lucy had done it. She had outrun not only her teammates but the doubts shackling her to the ground. The world spun with delight as adrenaline coursed through her. But just as she absorbed the cheers and the reality of what she had accomplished, a small voice whispered in her mind, was this just the beginning? The intensity of the moment was almost overwhelming. What would happen next? Would this triumph be enough to keep her going, or would she face new challenges she wasn't yet prepared for? Lucy breathed deeply, steadied herself, and prepared for whatever lay ahead. Lucy's heart raced, but this time it wasn't just from the run. The cheers of her teammates crashed over her like waves. The exhilaration coursing through her veins was addictive. She was filled with a dizzying high, but alongside it simmered something else, a nagging uncertainty. As she made her way back to the sidelines, the exhilaration began to wane. The cheers dimmed, and the applause around her felt shallower. She could hear the rising murmurs behind the excitement, a few voices slipping in with skepticism. Yeah, she did it this time. But can she keep it up? Her smile faltered as the questions started to swirl. Was this going to be a one-time victory, or could she repeat it? Finally proving herself had ignited a fire, but would it burn out just as quickly? Lucy! You did it! Sarah bounded up to her, glowing with pride. Thanks, Lucy managed, though her mind was still churning. You are amazing! I don't think anyone expected ya, but the words caught in her throat. She didn't want to sound ungrateful, but behind the spark of joy was that cold sting of deep-rooted doubt. Hey, you can't let the whispers get to you. You ran your race today. You beat all those thoughts. Sarah's pep talk felt comforting, though Lucy felt a pang of guilt for even thinking of the doubts. Right, but I need to keep proving it. Today was just one race. Well, you do. But today, we celebrate. Sarah squeezed her shoulder, her enthusiasm a refreshing balm against Lucy's anxiety. That night, the team gathered to celebrate. Laughter floated through the gym, banners hanging, pizza boxes piled high. They cheered and clinked cups filled with soda. Between bites, Lucy tried to soak it all in. This was happiness. I'm proud of you, Luce, Tom said, joining her at the table. Every step you took made a statement. Lucy chuckled, but her laugh felt tight. A statement, huh? What kind? That you're here. You fought through, and you won. That's something. Nods of agreement came from around the table, but somehow, she felt distant from their joy. It was hard not to feel like an imposter, like she was living someone else's dream. As she sipped her drink, thoughts flickered back to the track. The moment the pain hit her leg. The split second where she could have crumbled, where she could have listened to the doubts. Hey, how are you really feeling? Tom's concerned gaze pierced through her thoughts. I'm good. I think I just need some time to figure things out. Lucy, just know we have your back. No one can take that away. Not now. But as she smiled back at him, those words felt heavier than stone. The truth was, she knew she had to face more than just the race ahead. There was more to prove, the challenge of her own limitations and the lingering doubt that taunted her like a troublesome shadow. As the night wound down, Lucy found herself standing at the edge of the gym, watching her friends laugh and share stories. The glimmer of victory was sweet, but she couldn't shake the thought, what if? What if I can't do it again? The echo of past failures haunted her, every struggle that had led her here. She needed to dig deeper. The finish line hadn't just marked the end of the race. It signaled the start of something bigger. Hey, why so serious? Tom's voice pulled her back. Just thinking. Well, you did great today. What's next? The question lingered in the air, rattling her bones. Lucy took a deep breath, determination sparking anew. I think I'm just getting started. But even as she said it, doubt dripped like a slow poison. What lay ahead? Would she be able to withstand the pressure of expectations? Would she dare to take another leap? As the celebratory joy around her surged, she steeled herself for what was to come. Her journey had begun. But where would it take her, and at what cost? Lucy stood at the gym's entrance, watching her friends revel in the aftermath of their small victory. The laughter echoed against the high ceilings, but it felt like background noise, an unreachable joy. It was hard not to compare herself to the whirlwind of excitement surrounding her. Isn't this great? Sarah smiled, linking her arm with Lucy. Yes, sure, it's great, Lucy replied, forcing a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. Come on. You've got to loosen up. We just celebrated a win. Sarah tugged her gently. I get it. Really, I do. But what if I can't keep it up? Lucy. Sarah hesitated, then squeezed her arm tighter. You can't let that thinking get in the way. Enjoy this moment. The two girls moved back to the group, the high spirits almost contagious. As they mingled, Lucy tried to engage, but her mind kept racing. What would tomorrow bring? Could she really be more than a one-hit wonder? She glanced at her teammates, the way they glowed with anticipation for future races, for practices. Did they see the same potential in her? Hey, we should hit the track tomorrow morning, Tom said, laying a hand on Lucy's shoulder. Get some more practice in. Early practice? Lucy felt exhaustion creep in at the thought, but she nodded. Sure, I'll be there. Good. It's a perfect time to show everyone it wasn't a fluke. His hopeful expression twisted something inside her. She appreciated his encouragement, but it felt heavy with expectation. She wasn't ready to carry that weight. As the night progressed, Lucy excused herself, seeking a moment of solitude. She stepped outside, where the air felt fresher, crisp beneath the almost moonlight. The gym's noise faded into the background, and her heartbeat slowed, but the unease remained. Hey, came a voice from behind her, startling her. It was Tom, stepping into the cool night with her. Mind if I join? Not at all, she replied, grateful for the distraction. He leaned against the wall beside her. You okay? You seem a little out of it. Just taking it all in, I guess. Tom took a deep breath, looking up at the stars. You know, it's okay to feel overwhelmed. All these eyes on you, waiting to see what you do next, can be a lot. But I believe in you, Lucy. There's something special there. Sometimes I don't feel special, she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. Just average. Like I don't belong. Tom turned to her, understanding in his eyes. You're anything but average. You fought back today. That matters, right? You've proven you can do it once. But proving it again? What if I fall short? I can't handle the thought of disappointing everyone. Disappointment is part of the journey. He paused, letting the words sink in. It helps us grow. Look, I've had my share of falls, too. You won't know how far you can go unless you face the fear. Lucy felt tears prick at the corners of her eyes. Could it be that simple? Facing fears head-on? The thought was both terrifying and thrilling. Tom turned to her, nudging her playfully. Let us make a pact, okay? No matter what happens tomorrow or the next race, we keep showing up. Together. His sincerity melted some of her reservations. Okay, together? As they re-entered the gym, the laughter resumed, but something had changed for her. It was no longer just about proving herself. It was about the journey they shared, and the belief they had in each other. Yet deep down, a question lingered: could she rewrite her story? Tomorrow would be another chance. She would either rise to the occasion or stumble, but with Tom by her side, maybe, just maybe, she'd find the strength to face whatever awaited her. Her heart raced in anticipation. What lies ahead, and what would the race reveal? Morning light spilled through Lucy's window, carving streaks of warmth across her bed. The excitement of yesterday's victory felt like a distant echo, replaced by a sudden rush of nerves. The weight of expectation settled on her shoulders, heavier than overnight bags. She swung her legs over the side of the bed, inhaling deeply, willing herself to shake off the dread. The pact with Tom floated in her mind together. It was an anchor, and she needed that steadiness right now. In the kitchen, the aroma of pancakes filled the air, but Lucy's stomach churned. Her mother bustled about, humming as she flipped the pancakes, unaware of the storm of anxiety brewing inside her daughter. "Hey, sleepyhead! Ready for your big day?" her mom asked, a grin brightening her face. "Yeah, totally," Lucy replied, forcing a smile. The enthusiasm didn't quite reach her eyes. As her mother set a steaming plate in front of her, Lucy poked at the food, each bite tasting like lead. The minutes slipped away, and soon it was time to head to the track. As they pulled into the parking lot, Lucy felt her heartbeat crescendo. The hustle and bustle of her teammates added to the electric atmosphere, laughter and shouts mixing to create a raw, unfiltered energy. "Lucy! Over here!" Sarah waved, her face a beacon of positivity. As Lucy approached, she felt Sarah's enthusiasm wash over her momentarily. "Ready to show them what you're made of?" Sarah asked, her eyes gleaming. Lucy opened her mouth to reply, but the words caught in her throat. "What if I can't? What if today is different? Just think of yesterday. You have it in you." The assurance in Sarah's voice wrapped around Lucy like a warm hug. As they gathered with the rest of the team, a familiar voice broke through her swirling thoughts. They gathered round, ready to stretch, to prepare for practice. Tom stepped closer, his presence calming yet electric. "Remember our pact? Whatever happens, we keep showing up," he said, and when he smiled, a spark ignited inside her. Lucy nodded, feeling a swell of determination. Together, they might really face this day. The energy was infectious, coursing through the air like a jolt of caffeine. Right before the race began, Lucy's heart raced. Every positive affirmation turned into a question: could she truly elevate herself in front of her friends, or would she crumple under the pressure? Would this practice show that yesterday wasn't just a one-off achievement? "On your marks!" the coach called out, the words resonating through the tension in the air. Lucy took her position with Tom beside her. As her fingers flexed, she grasped her worn-out shoes, tools of her journey, each laced with hope and trembling dreams. "Focus on the race, Lucy. Forget the rest," Tom whispered, nudging her gently. His confidence seeped into her bones, igniting the fire that had lingered under layers of uncertainty. Set. The world around her dimmed. It was just her breath, her heartbeat, and the track ahead. "Go!" And they were off. For a moment, doubt faded into the rhythm of running, the pounding of feet on the track a comforting melody. She fell into the groove, her body dancing with the speed of her spirit. But then, she noticed the stares, the whispers of doubt that clung to her like a shadow. Deep breaths. "Ignore them. Come on, Lucy!" Tom's voice sliced through the uncertainty. She allowed his cheer to fuel her, pushing harder, faster. With every stride, she chased her fears away. Past the other runners, past her own limitations. The finish line loomed, an invitation, as if it held the answers she sought. In that moment, Lucy grasped for the truth, pushing through the pain and the self-doubt. She wasn't just running for victory, she was running for something greater. For herself. As she crossed the finish line, panting and exhilarated, time felt suspended. Could this moment redefine everything? Her heart thundered not from exhaustion but from newfound hope, a realization shimmering in the distance. As her teammates rushed to her, cheers filling the air, Lucy wondered what this moment would mean for her future. Would they see her now, not just as an average girl, but as someone worth believing in? The thrill of possibility coursed through her. This race was only the beginning. What if she could be more than they all believed? What if she could truly fly? The cheers echoed in Lucy's ears, washing over her like a warm blanket. Friends wrapped their arms around her, fingers intertwining in celebration. Tom beamed at her from the sidelines, pride radiant on his face. In that moment, she really believed that she was more than just the girl with the limp. She was fierce. She was light. She was a force to be reckoned with. But as elation surged through her, a cloud of doubt began to creep back in. What if this was a fluke? What if, the next time they raced, the doubts swarmed once again. A sudden insecurity gnawed at her insides. "Lucy! That was amazing!" Sarah exclaimed, her voice barely cutting through the din of excitement. "You didn't teach us keep up, you surpassed everyone. Can you believe it?" Lucy offered a half-hearted smile, her heart still racing but not entirely for the victory. "Yeah, I guess it was kinda good, just kinda good. You're being way too modest." Sarah shook her head in disbelief. "You completely crushed it out there." As they headed back to the team huddle, the laughter and camaraderie felt intoxicating, but her mind was elsewhere. She watched Tom, laughing with their teammates, his easy smile infectious. Yet there was an edge of fear. What if she failed to deliver next time? What would that mean for their pact? Taking a deep breath, Lucy decided to push those thoughts aside. She couldn't let the fear of vulnerability hold her back now. She would take this victory for all it was worth and let it lift her up, not weigh her down. "Okay, team. Gather around." The coach's authoritative voice pierced the excitement, pulling Lucy back into the moment. "I saw some fantastic running out there today, especially from our very own Lucy." The team erupted in applause. Lucy's heart raced again, but this time, her cheeks flushed with pride. "Tomorrow, we'll take these times up a notch. Time trials. I want you all clicking in personal bests," the coach declared, his eyes flicking over the group. "And Lucy?" Her heart leaped into her throat. "Why, yes, coach. Keep setting the bar for us. You're a bright spot in this squad." The praise slithered through her, warming her even in the face of all that pressure. As she basked in the glow of approval, Lucy noticed a few faces in the crowd that had worn skeptical expressions during practice. Their eyes had widened in shock and faint respect. Maybe they were beginning to see her through a fairer lens, a resilient fighter, not just the girl everyone questioned. Later that evening, Lucy lay in bed, her body pleasantly sore from the day. She stared at the ceiling, replaying every moment from the race. The freedom of the run and the triumph of crossing that finish line played in her mind like an old movie. In that moment, she recalled Sarah's words from practice, "You have it in you." Part of her wanted to bask in the glory of her victory forever, but the reality of tomorrow loomed large. "Time trials," she whispered to herself, her heart fluttering nervously. "What if I can hold on to this?" Just then, her phone buzzed. A message from Tom lit up the screen. "What do you think about our training plan?" "I'm up for anything. Tomorrow is ours." A tingle of joy mixed with trepidation rushed through her. Had she really transformed? Was this the start of something new, something bigger than she had imagined? And yet another question surfaced: what if her victory today was simply a prelude to another challenge waiting around the corner? With wrestling thoughts gripping her mind, she shut her eyes, willing her exhausted body to rest. Tomorrow would be pivotal. What if it revealed everything she was capable of, or everything she feared about herself? But before sleep could claim her, doubt knocked loudly at the door. Could she really sustain this newfound strength? Would she endure against the weight of expectation? Only time would tell. Morning sunlight streamed into Lucy's room, illuminating her path as she rose to face another day filled with possibilities. The butterflies churning in her stomach spoke of excitement and anxiety. Today was time trials day, a day meant to measure how far she had truly come. Would she rise to the occasion, or would it unravel beneath the weight of expectation? With each step to the track, determination pushed her forward, drowning out whispers of doubt. As the familiar sounds of running shoes meeting the ground echoed around her, Lucy felt the support of her teammates, the camaraderie woven into every conversation and laughter. Yet, deep beneath it, the nagging worry lingered. What if today exposed her vulnerabilities she'd worked so hard to overcome? Gathered together in a circle, Coach Graham clapped his hands, commanding their attention. "Today, we push our limits. Lucy, after your performance last race, we're all expecting big things." The expectation stitched a thrill of fear with excitement. "Let us go!" Tom cheered, nudging her. Their alliance was more than just a pact, it was a lifeline. She could do this. Lucy lined up at the starting line, her heart a furious rhythm against her chest. The sun hung high, glinting off the track like a beacon. Her focus narrowed to just the line before her. "On your marks," called Coach Graham. Each heartbeat echoed through her ears as the countdown began. "Get set!" A rush of memories flooded her mind: early mornings, sweat-soaked shirts, and the nagging doubt that had trailed her for so long. "Go!" As she broke free from the line, the world around her melted into a blur. It was just her, the pounding of her feet, and the rhythm of her breath. Each stride felt powerful, each breath grounding. She pushed past thoughts of fear, embracing the strength she had honed over countless practices. The confidence surged like fire through her veins. Today was not just a race. It was another step on her journey of self-discovery. Tom was right beside her, feet pounding like a steady drum. Their shared energy fueled her resolve. With every curve, she felt assured. They were not just running, they were rewriting the narrative of their lives together, one foot in front of the other. But then, as the finish line loomed, a jolt of pain shot through Lucy's leg, just as it had before. Her heart dropped, and fear threatened to overtake her. The audience's breaths hitched collectively, anticipation hanging thick in the air. Was she going to falter now? "Push through! You got this!" Tom's voice cut through the roaring chaos, igniting flames of hope and driven determination once more. She might stumble, but she refused to fall. Drawing from every ounce of fight within her, she surged forward. This race wasn't just about outrunning others. It was about confronting her deepest fears, triumphing over self-doubt. With one last burst of energy, Lucy crossed the finish line, breathless and exhilarated. Her teammates erupted in cheers that harmonized, filling the air with overwhelming joy. But today, beyond the thrill of victory, something deeper flourished, a conviction that echoed in her heart. She had learned not just to race against others but against her own limitations. As her friends rushed to envelop her in congratulations, warmth surged through her, but it blended with a flicker of doubt. Could she carry this momentum into the future? A harsh whisper from the past reminded her of moments of struggle yet ahead. "Lucy! That was epic!" Sarah practically danced around her, eyes bright with admiration. "Yeah! I mean, you were incredible!" Tom chimed in, grinning from ear to ear. Lucy couldn't help but smile. Their excitement mingled with gratitude, filling the cracks where doubt had once seeped through. "Thanks, you guys. It feels great," she replied, though she inwardly resolved to not let the cheers dilute the reality of the challenge ahead. She had to keep showing up, keep fighting to break every barrier that still loomed before her. As they gathered to talk strategies and future races, Lucy realized an important truth: the journey wouldn't always be easy, but with each race, each step forward, she was proving to herself that she could continue to soar, to redefine who she was not just to others, but to herself. Beneath the cheers and laughter, Lucy stood stronger, rooted in faith in herself, faith in her team, and the knowledge of what she was truly capable of. This was only the beginning. As the day reached its end, Lucy made her way home, the sky painted in hues of orange and pink. She felt exhilarated, a flicker of hope ignited within her. This was a new chapter. Each stride she took felt purposeful. And tomorrow? Tomorrow she would embrace whatever came next. She learned that to truly soar, one had not only to cross the finish line but to embrace the entire journey, obstacles and all. Lucy's heart swelled, racing with the thrill of possibility. She was ready. The whispers of doubt faded further into the distance. This was her time. This was her race. And with every breath, she promised herself, she would never stop running. Now, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and comment your reactions and feelings about this inspiring ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Be the true fan that understands the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.